Namaskar. Once again, a very warm welcome to my this YouTube channel, which is dedicated to new school projects, school administration, and school operations. As you already know, I have already introduced myself as Satish Banod, an air veteran and former school administrator. So this video is going to be very useful, very beneficial for the people who are in the helm of the society affairs. Let it be promoters, existing societies portfolio holders, society employees, administrators, and principal and managers of the educational institutions. So continuing with the explanation of the Societies Registration Punjab Amendment Act 2026. Today I am going to explain the amendments done in section 3. Government has introduced 3 new subsections under section 3 of Principal Act, that is section 3A, 3B and 3C. I will be explaining them one by one while scrolling the actual notification on your screen. So section 3A mandates the payment of prescribed fees at the time of registration, which will go to the government account. It is very simple, nothing new in this. Then one more, government has given some concession to the applicants who proposes more than 50% of their governing body's strength as women, SC/ST category persons and specially disabled person or Divyangs. So if the governing body, managing body of the society consists of more than 50% of women, SC/ST category and Divyangs, so this society can avail 50% discount in the registration fees of the society. So this concession has been granted to these deserving categories of societies. Then in case registrar receives any complaint from anybody or registrar himself find that the name of the society which is proposed is objectionable or identical seems to be identical with the existing society, then registrar may issue a public notice inviting the objections to a proposed name of the educational or healthcare society. Means that if there is a complaint or registrar finds any faults in the name or contrary to the provision made in this act, he can issue a public notice in the newspaper, of course, inviting the objection to the proposed name, what the cost of issuing the advertisement or notice in the newspaper will be borne by the applicants, the proposed society itself. So all this will be done on the expense of society only. Then if any objection comes, the registrar shall refuse the registration after providing the opportunity of being heard. If objection comes, definitely the registrar will issue a notice to the applicants that your name is not correct and it has been objected. Please correct it. If even then society, the applicant don't adhere to the instruction of the registrar, the registrar can refuse to register the new society. Registrar can also refuse to register the society if the name of educational or healthcare society contravenes to the provision of section 2A. Objects of the educational society are not in accordance with the provision of section 220, or objects of the education and healthcare society are contrary to any law for the time being in force. In nutshell, if the name of society or the objects of society are not lawful or contrary to any law which are in force, which are prevailing, the registrar can refuse to register the society. But registrar will record the reasons in writing and communicate the same to the applicant. Without communicating the reason, he cannot refuse. He will refuse, registrar will refuse the registration, but also communicate to the society on these grounds your society cannot be registered. Then section 3 mandates and give a new fact that the certificate of society once registered, the registration certificate will be valid only for the 5 years. In this act, it has been mandated that the registration will only be done for the initial 5 years. Then registrar has to get their society re-registered once the initial 5 years have been lapsed, and it will be further on every 5 years society has to get its registration renewed. So unlike earlier, the society was not required to be re-registered again and again, but under this act society has to get itself registered on the completion of every 5 years. So this is a repeated work. Earlier only filing was done on filing of list of society members were done on yearly basis, but now along with that filing of list of the members, society has to get itself registered on completion of every 5 years. So it is amply clear the society has to get itself registered every 5 years. There is no doubt. One relaxation there, society need not to apply for the re-registration of society or renewal of the society before expiry the term of 5 years. It can apply within a 3 months from the date of renewal. If your date of renewal is due on 31st December, you can apply for the renewal or registration up to the next 3 months. That is up to the, if it is expiring on 31st December 2026, you can put up your application by 31st March 2027. So this relaxation has been provided. So fees I have already explained. Registration fees has to be done, and one half of the prescribed fees will be paid by certain categories of societies which hold more than 50% of women, SC/ST, and the Divyang on their governing body strength. Then one more relaxation has been provided by the government in this act. Suppose if you could not apply for the renewal within the normal 3 years, 3 months from the due date, then you are allowed to apply afterwards also, but with a penalty per month. Whatever the government will prescribe, the penalty per month that has to be paid along with the application if you are applying for renewal after lapse of initial 3 months. So penalty may be 1000 per month. If you apply after 6 months, you have to pay 6000 rupees along with your application as penalty for delayed renewal application. So this is additional burden on the society. So all the society should be applying the registration of society, renewal of the society in time. Then if the society fails to, this 1 year normally is given uh, for apply the renewal after due date. If even then societies fails to apply for the renewal or get their society re-registered, renewed, then the registrar, after giving due notices, may initiate the process of cancel of the registration of the such society in accordance with the prescribed procedure. So if society does not bother to get them re-registered or renewed as per this act on completion of 5 years, then the registrar of the society has a power to initiate a process of cancellation of their registration. So it is very important. Everybody should get their society registered well in time. Then one more important point is there, last point. Once you get your society renewed, then its effective date be counted from the next renewal will be due from the actual date of expiration of 5 year from the original registration date. So this was it is very important. This society, it will not be counted from the current date from on which the certificate issued, but from the date when the due date was expired. This is, thank you so much. This was section 3. Now I will be coming to the